start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Direct TRC. You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KZZWLP Conroe and 106.1 on KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Hello, everyone. I am Margie Taylor, your host of Conroe Culture News today, and we are local in downtown Conroe, Lone Star Community Radio in the Conroe City Tower right now, City Hall. And guests today will be Spring Creek Area Blue Star Mothers serving Montgomery County and the bordering areas. And with me is Heather Herlong, the president, and Cara Johnson, the first vice president. And in the second half, we will hear from Julie Martineau, the executive director of Montgomery County Community Foundation. This is on FM 104.5, 106.1, live streaming irlonestar.com, YouTube Live as well, and our City TV, Conroe Cable TV. So the show is sponsored by Roger Stein Chiropractic and Team Sinisi Real Estate Group. Team Sinisi Real Estate Group serves the greater Montgomery County as one of the best sources for buying, selling, or investing in your home or purchasing other property. 281-507-9777. Team Sinisi, because it's an easy name to remember. Roger Stein Chiropractic is one of the best places to go for chiropractic care in Montgomery County, located at 3033 West Davis, Highway 105 by Conroe High School and Taco Bell. They treat anyone from infants to seniors, local weekend athletes to professionals with a focus on natural, holistic healing to achieve optimal health. And Dr. Stacy Rogers holds certifications in adjusting extremities, arms, legs, hands, feet, clinical nutrition, prenatal, and pediatric care. All new patients, it only costs you just under $30 for your first visit, and it all goes back to CASA, kids in CPS custody. Roger Stein Chiropractic. So a few things going on around our area. Guess what? It's fall this week. So we wait for fall and see if it actually shows up again, because it's been rather hot again this last weekend. But I have faith that it will come forward. So a few things going on is Sarah Bess Gray will share her experiences and memories of growing up in the Conroe oil field with a tour of the house where she grew up. It's the State Gray House, and it's at the Heritage Museum of Montgomery County. So this is pretty cool, and you don't want to miss that. That is this coming Saturday, September 24th at 1 p.m. at the Heritage Museum. And you can watch the artists in action at the Conroe Art League Madeley Gallery, which is located at 127 Simonton, right next to the Red Brick Tavern. And you can see the artists this Thursday, September 22nd, from 4 to 7. And you can also go check out their new exhibit that only goes through the end of this month, which is September's ending. We're almost into October. So go by and see it. No cost at all. And have you seen the performances at our local theaters? This is the final weekend of both School of Rock at the Owen Theater and Murder on the Orient Express at the Crichton Theater. And are you even aware that both theaters offer these performances by volunteers that invest 3 weeks of rehearsals prior to the 3 weekends that they perform. The directors are volunteers, performers, stage crew, everyone are non-paid theater enthusiasts excited to bring you live entertainment on the stage. So go support local theater. Tickets for the Players Theater Company at the Owen Theater is owentheater.com, and at the Crichton Theater, it's crichtontheater.org to get your tickets. So Habitat for Humanity is also holding a day of prayer at the Cedar Creek community. It's off of 7th Street, and that is this Wednesday, September 21st, from 10 to 11, to give thanks for all the blessings bestowed to the families they serve with affordable housing, with volunteers, donors, stakeholders, and staff in the community. So a good address for them at Cedar Creek is 1526 Cedar Crossing Court in Conroe. Anybody is welcome to attend. One other final thing is the Great Pumpkin Shoot benefiting seniors served by Meals on Wheels is taking place October 21st. This is their biggest fundraiser. So if you can have a team to shoot, show up to volunteer, or even sponsor any of their Great Pumpkin Shoot, there's availability. Go to Meals on Wheels mc.org to find out all the details. And shortly here, we are going to talk all about the Gold Star Mom and Family event that happens this coming Sunday, September 25th, starting at 7 a.m. It's a sunrise service honoring Gold Star moms and families, and honestly, it's probably the only one in the state of Texas. So what this does is honor those families that have lost somebody in the military over the years or recently. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with my first guest from Spring Creek area Blue Star Mothers, Heather and Cara.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Since 2004, Roger Stein Chiropractic has offered spine and joint manipulation services to residents of Montgomery County and surrounding areas. Conditions treated include lower back pain, migraines, headaches, whiplash, carpal tunnel, neck pain, sciatica, joint pain, sports injuries, herniated discs, and complications from pregnancy. Roger Stein Chiropractic, led by Dr. Stacy Rogers and Dr. Brian McGee, is an integrity-verified chiropractic clinic. Call 936-441-9990 for an appointment, or visit rogerssteinchiropractic.com. That's RODGERSSTEIN chiropractic.com.
Team Sinisi is a proud sponsor of Conroe Culture News. Vinny Sinisi and his professional team provide comprehensive real estate services throughout the greater Montgomery County area and beyond. Whether looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, Team Sinisi has an impeccable reputation. Contact Team Sinisi for a great experience at teamsinisi.com. That's TEAMSINISI.com.
And we are back with my first guest today from the Spring Creek area Blue Star Mothers. I have both Heather Herlong, who's the president, and Cara Johnson, who's the first vice president. And they're going to tell us all about what Blue Star Mothers are, how you can be a part of it, how you can advocate and get involved in their events, and all of that. Right, ladies? In 10 seconds or less. No, just kidding. All right. So what is Blue Star Mothers?
Blue Star Mothers is a band of mothers that are nationally recognized by Congress that come together, first and foremost, patriotic. We're mothers of active service members or service members that are now veterans. But we're just the leaders. Everyone's welcome to our group, from veterans to family, friends, aunts, uncles, Blue Star dads. We're a very diverse group. No age or armed forces branch.
Oh, yeah, they're all
is left
welcome.
out. We're represented, and so we have a great time together. And also, you know, it's not just having a good time; it's continuing that legacy of continued service. Like I said, whether or not our children are currently serving or they're veterans, we believe in supporting each other and our military family community.
So, Heather, you have a lot of links to the military, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm 5th generation veteran, and then both of my sons, one veteran and one active duty.
In which branch?
The Army active duty and Coast Guard veteran.
Okay. And Cara?
I have family members who are military, and then my stepson is a Marine veteran.
Okay, so it just shows that all branches of the military. And so you can be a member if you're a mom, a stepmom, a grandma, a foster mom, one of those female
Yes.
representatives with children.
Representatives, right. But you can be a member if you just by knowing someone in the military. Or
An
a family
associate
member.
member? Okay.
Associate member. Like I said, we're patriotic, but we're about supporting the military family. So we want to include everybody.
So let's talk about some of the things that Blue Star Mothers does to support the military.
So some of the things that Blue Star Moms do is we have a couple of programs. One of them is care packages that we send care packages to our service members who are deployed. This past weekend, we sent 100 care packages out on Saturday to service members overseas.
That's good, 100.
Yeah. We also have veteran outreach programs, and then we have military family support programs where we support other Blue Star families and Gold Star families.
Yep.
So I know I got connected with you guys and rapidly got involved, and I didn't know honestly anything about Blue Star Mothers, Gold Star Mother. It wasn't in my line of vision until things changed for me. But you were very supportive. The whole organization was, and welcomed me. So if somebody is interested, they can certainly come to the meetings, and they don't have to be aligned with anything. They just want to support the military. Is that correct?
Yes. The third Thursday of every month. We welcome the general public, friends and family, anybody who needs support, who's patriotic, or just wants to get more involved. I mean, we have, like I said, a very diverse group, all ages, that come in that just want to get more involved at different levels. So there's not a particular level that you have to meet, a requirement, other than you just want to be, you're patriotic and you want to be supportive. So we want to get our community as big as possible. We have a great, big, huge need in Montgomery County to support military families. But to break down that military family, I mean, from Blue Star fathers, obviously Blue Star mothers, and Gold Star families, veterans, spouses of veterans, spouses of active duty. I mean, there's no limit on this community, and we by no means want to put any kind of limitations on it because there's such a need for support and recognition. We're a special group. It takes a special person to enlist or a family to support a family member that has enlisted, and it's a legacy. And
What do you know? What percent of people are enlisted or go to the military? I mean, it seems like it's a smaller and smaller fraction of the
numbers have
United States.
Yes, the numbers have really decreased. The DoD and the Department of Veterans has said that I believe it was 13% drop just since COVID of their normal numbers. That when you're talking about already a minority group, that's a significant.
That's significant, right?
And
that's why we need to honor those that are involved.
Yes. So anytime you have a volunteer, remember all these are volunteers.
It's a choice.
Yeah, it's not a draft.
It's not mandated.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. And so to be able to support all levels of that military family and individuality, we've got to stay on top of it.
We embrace it.
Yes.
So associate members are anybody, like we talked about, reserves or had served a military or a spouse of somebody that's even deceased is okay. Any of that. You don't even have to be connected to anybody or anything. Anybody in the community
That wants to support and wants to
can
get involved.
Get involved.
Yes.
So, Cara, you talked about the care packaging parties. Where did all those packages go to?
Initially, they go to a liaison in Germany. Germany is kind of like our substation, right? So we've contacted a liaison, which helps us out tremendously. So this liaison kind of gets a feel of what's going on over in Europe or broader.
They know the best places to
who's
distribute the care packages. Those most in need,
Right,
perhaps.
they do, because
Okay.
there's so many service members in need, but yet there's so many groups like us right now that are sending care packages that a lot of service members are getting care packages, and we are just trying to make sure that the service members that are getting them are actually in need. So we got
Right.
a liaison to make sure that these are service members who may not have a family back home or may have just deployed overseas or just have been there for a while and haven't
Right.
had any contact back home. So this liaison is getting these care packages to them so that they know that someone back home is thinking of them.
From Conroe, Texas.
From Conroe, Texas.
That's awesome. So you meet at Honor Cafe, which if people haven't been to Honor Cafe, well, you need to go check it out.
Exactly. You're
It
missing out.
embraces veterans.
Yes.
And it's very important, and it's a good alignment, and that is the third Thursday of the month from 7 to 8:30 at Honor Cafe. So let's talk about the event that's happening this Sunday, the sunrise service honoring Gold Star moms and families, because this is a national day of recognition.
Yes.
And so this is the only event like this in Montgomery County, and I have checked it out. It's actually the only one in Greater Houston area and possibly Texas, recognizing a national event. It's not a holiday, but it's a national day of recognition for specifically Gold Star moms who lost a son or daughter serving actively in the military, and recently they added families as part of that too.
Yes. Yes. What sets this particular event aside from others is a couple of things. There are other private events going on. I know for some, this particular topic is very personable, and it's very you kind of have to handle it with kid gloves. Not everybody wants to be out in the public. Sometimes, the stages of mourning are so different from each individual family that's going through this, okay? What we wanted to do, and it was actually you, Margie, that brought it to our attention, that during this day of recognition, there are several families in Montgomery County that are ready to transition from Blue Star mother or Blue Star family into the gold. And that's not only it's a special ceremony that's been going on for many years that the Blue Star mothers perform, whether it's private or public. We perform that ceremony so that the family gets recognized in the proper way, and they're able to transition from being a from being a Blue Star family or Blue Star mom to Gold Star. So there's some ceremonial aspects of that transition. It's not only it's a symbolic transition that needs to be recognized, that our government has given us permission to assist with. And like I said, some families aren't ready for the transition. Some families want to hold it during private ceremony. But this is a way for us to let our community know, for these families that we're recognizing on this particular day, it's allowing the community to not only grow as a community, but also learn. This is a military tradition. It's not one that we really, it's not like we have a celebration party, but it's a celebration of life.
It's a recognition.
It's a celebration of life, and a life of service. Because even though we're recognizing the fallen service members as well, okay, but we're also recognizing the service of those families and those mothers, because they need to, like I said, everyone's mourning is gone through at an individual rate and time frame, and it doesn't matter. They need to be embraced. They need to be hugged. They need to be let known that we have not forgotten them, and we never will.
Well, and Montgomery County hasn't recognized the Gold Star families to date that we're aware of, and the Blue Star mothers haven't been aware of all the Gold Star families. And as Margie stated, she wasn't aware of what Blue Star Mothers was until just recently. And to be honest, I wasn't aware of Blue Star Mothers until after my son became a veteran. And so this is a way of recognizing these Gold Star families and mothers and allowing or notifying them and making them aware that there is a community out there that wants to embrace them and wants to acknowledge them and make them known that the community supports them and wants to embrace them and bring them in and just be there for them.
Just be there when you need it. So
Yeah.
Being a Gold Star mom is actually the most tragic and challenging thing I've ever gone through in my entire life. And honestly, Blue Star Moms has helped to support me whenever I need it, whether it's a phone call or to be in person or any of that. And as a Gold Star mom, it's important for us to gather to support each other, because honestly, nobody really knows what you're going through unless they've walked in the same shoes. So we will be starting a Gold Star Moms chapter in Montgomery County, because there is not one. And I think it's needed, especially with the Gold Star Monument coming forward at the Montgomery County Veterans Memorial Park. And it's a way to embrace our community. And it's very hard when you lose a child. It is horribly hard. It's tragic. And this puts people together to support and honor, and Blue Star Moms is a big part of that. So I do encourage anyone to come out. It is at 7 a.m., but it'll be beautiful. It'll be a beautiful service. We are raising the Gold Star Mom flag that will live there then at the park right across the bridge, and there will be refreshments served by the Red Brick Tavern. Mm-hmm. There will be a color guard from the Magnolia High School Junior ROTC. Mm-hmm. There may be bagpipes. Hugs will be given.
Lots of resources, lots of support.
So if you support the military and the families, you should come out. It won't last very long. You could still make it to other church services, likely, because it probably won't be a whole hour, but we have allotted at 7 to 8:30 for this time, with refreshments immediately afterward. Mm-hmm. So I know you ladies will be there. What else can people expect?
They'll get to learn some traditions that they might not be aware of, some resources. This is a big deal. Like you said, a lot of people don't understand what you've been through. Not that they'll be able to grasp the whole thing, but a military family doesn't stop being a military family. Never.
Yep.
And our community is going to be one of those military families that just through thick and thin, through the crap that we don't want to talk about sometimes, to the celebrations of life that we want to others to remember. Everyone in the military, no matter what military position you had, whether you were a mother or a father or the actual service member, everybody has a unique story, and it's really, really awesome to be able to share those stories and share them with the community. So this isn't just, this is going to be, you couldn't have picked a better time than having a sunrise, because something happens at sunrise. You know, it's full of hope. It's beautiful.
It's a beginning.
It is. It's a beginning, and it's a transition. How you feel first thing in the morning can totally set the tone for your entire day, and that's what we want these families to feel, is that there are people that support them. There is hope. There are resources. And man, there's a family out there that loves you. So it doesn't matter who you are. Come out, because it's going to be really cool. And man, what a presentation. We're going to have a pinning ceremony and a flag raising and a transition ceremony. And what better way to start your day than to watch that sunrise and have a whole bunch of military families and the community all in one place.
So if people want to know more about this event or what Blue Star Mothers does, they can go to the Facebook page, Spring Creek Area Blue Star Mothers. Just Google Spring Creek Area Blue Star Mothers in the little search box, and you will find it. I mean, even if you put it on Google, you will find it and connect to it. The event is also on the Facebook page for the Montgomery County Veterans Memorial Park. So you can see it there, 7 a.m. at the Memorial Park, 1776, I can't even think, Freedom Boulevard. It's over there by the Central Library off I-45 between 2854 and Highway 105 on the northbound side, the feeder park. Library's closed, so it's okay to park in the parking lot. Just show up. No RSVP. Just show up. Prior to 7, we're going to blast it off at 7 a.m. as per military protocol, right?
Right. That's exactly right.
We're moving forward. 0700.
Yep, that's right. Rise
so
and
they
shine.
Say, rise and shine.
And start your day off great.
Anything else, ladies?
Well, we've got all kinds of programs. We encourage whether you want to become a volunteer. We encourage you to become either an associate member or a member. We have all kinds of neat programs that and special projects to come. Lots of special projects to come. We're growing bigger and bigger every year. This is only our second year, and we've blasted out of the park. And we don't.
How many members now?
We have 25.
That's good.
25 members.
Members.
And 5 associate members.
Yep.
We would love to have more Blue Star dads.
Yes.
We would love to have more associate members. Just so to get it out there, it doesn't cost anything to be an associate member. All you have to do is sign up. The mothers have to pay a $30 fee.
Annual.
Annual.
Yeah, it's annual.
We support our dues help support the chapter, but the associate members are free to join. So you can.
And this is a national recognition organization.
Yes, it's national.
Yes, national since 1942, national, and we've been recognized by Congress since 1960. So we've been around, and what's sad is a lot of people haven't heard about us because we're usually in the trenches. We're working every day out in the communities with local veterans, with assisted living facilities, active. I mean, we've helped out local. Units, Army units before they've been deployed. We feed, we clothe. I mean, we do whatever is needed. Yes.
And Cara, you were starting to say something, and we cut you off. So what were you saying?
It's quite okay. It's okay.
Anything else you want to add, Cara?
There's Heather, alluded to. There's several ways to support us. We need donors. We need sponsors. We need members. We need associate members. I was just going to say, you can reach us on our Facebook page, Spring Creek Area Blue Star Mothers, or you can email us if you're interested in supporting us. Our email address is on our Facebook page, or you can reach us at bsm.tx18@bluestarmothers.us. We'd love to have everyone, and we want to see everyone next Sunday.
You two are solid. You work so solid on leading the whole Blue Star Mothers in our area, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see everybody on Sunday morning early. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Since 2004, Roger Stein Chiropractic has offered spine and joint manipulation services to residents of Montgomery County and surrounding areas. Conditions treated include lower back pain, migraines, headaches, whiplash, carpal tunnel, neck pain, sciatica, joint pain, sports injuries, herniated discs, and complications from pregnancy. Roger Stein Chiropractic, led by Dr. Stacy Rogers and Dr. Brian McGee, is an integrity-verified chiropractic clinic. Call 936-441-9990 for an appointment or visit rogerssteinchiropractic.com. That's RODGERSSTEIN chiropractic.com.
Team Sinisi is a proud sponsor of Conroe Culture News. Vinny Sinisi and his professional team provide comprehensive real estate services throughout the greater Montgomery County area and beyond. Whether looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, Team Sinisi has an impeccable reputation. Contact Team Sinisi for a great experience at teamsinisi.com. That's TEAMSINISI.com.
A Lone Star Community Radio is ready for the summer. If you or anyone you know is looking for summer internship opportunities, a Lone Star Community Radio is a great place to grab the mic and be on the air. A Lone Star Community Radio offers a great opportunity to those interested in learning about the radio world all year round. Be an on-air personality, talk show producer, or YouTube, TV, podcast editor. Contact the station at info@irlonestar.com or call the station's message line at 936-647-3776.
Are you interested in learning more about preparing quick, healthy, and safe meals for your family? Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with practicing and tasting nutritious food? If so, the On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
Remember to download the Lone Star Community Radio app from your Google Play Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM 104.5, 106.1. If you are on your computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. Lone Star Community Radio, broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
Does volunteering at a nonprofit horse sanctuary sound wonderful? Or are you a veteran or a veteran spouse and think trying a peer group session through a local Horses and Heroes equine program might be worth trying? Henry's Home Horse and Human Sanctuary, located in Grand Central Park by appointment only, is home to a growing number of rescued and donated horses. Visit our website at henryshomehorsesanctuary.org or check out our Facebook at Henry's Home Horse and Human Sanctuary for more information.
And we are back for the second part of our show today. I am sitting across from Julie Martineau, so I've known for years. Years. Now, she has changed not little faces, but different places she's worked at. I've changed places I've worked at, but we're still the same people. Julie Martineau is the Executive Director of Montgomery County Community Foundation, and she's going to tell us all about that. And I welcome you, Julie. So let's talk about that. What is the mission of the Montgomery County Community Foundation?
Well, thank you first for letting me be here. I'm always happy to see you and share what we do at the Community Foundation, because like a lot of nonprofits in our community, people just don't know about the nonprofit until they need that nonprofit or they want something that nonprofit offers, and so that's not anything bad about the nonprofits. It's we as human beings are just that way. So what we do is we're the savings account for the community. People want to leave legacies here. They want to have a long-term impact. And so we're the way that they do that. People give money to us. We invest that money and then take part of the earnings and put those out in either grants or scholarships based on the way the person who set up that fund or gave us that money asked for that money to go out. So the fund keeps growing, but the best part and the fun part for me is we get to give grants out into the community or give scholarships out to high school students going off to college or to tech school or to
Wherever.
any kind of certification, yeah.
So it aligns with their specific needs. So if they want to do something towards animals or kids or single moms or veterans, or they can use it as general too. There's some of them that are pretty general,
Yes.
right?
We have what's
non-specific.
Yeah, those are the unrestricted funds. So these are mostly funds that have been set up because the donors went, I don't know, I care about this community. I don't really know that there's any one thing that I think is the most important. So I want it to be available to be used as the community sees it being used. Sometimes we use those funds for emerging issues, things that we have no other funds for, but realize that it's very important. So let's take the veterans program. We have a fund just for our veterans in Montgomery County, but it doesn't generate a lot of money. It doesn't put a lot out there. So we do get several grants to serve our veterans community, and we can use the unrestricted funds to amplify those grants, to increase the amount of money those grants get.
So that's great. If you don't have those endowments or legacy programs, where do you get the funds then? Is it all derived from that?
So the funds for the grants and the scholarships are strictly off the earnings. And the good news is, regardless of how our investment portfolio has done, there have been years where it's done really well. And so even years like this year is kind of choppy. We may not have as large of growth thanks to the markets, but we still give out 3% of the total value of the endowment. And so sometimes we have to draw off of past earnings to make that happen, but we're pretty consistent. We're not pretty. We are consistent. It's been 3% of the total funds.
There's a lot of funds that go out to the nonprofits. How many nonprofits did you award grants to this year?
So this year, our grant request just closed on Thursday. And so we received 40 grants, and the total request is about $480,000. Wow. I just added up this morning. You're looking at your notes, so you don't have it.
I don't.
My board doesn't even have it yet. Because I just got all the grants.
So just under $500,000.
So just under $500,000. And
but yet,
in order to give out discretionary funds, which are funds that our volunteers decide are going to go out, it's just under $200,000, and then on top of that, we've got another $67,000 that's going to go out to specific agencies. And so what that means is people have said, I love this group, like CASA or the Food Bank or the Assistance League, whatever. And those organizations, they get those funds regardless. Mostly regardless. As long as they're in good standing, as long as they're doing well, they get to take those funds and use them toward their mission. Some of those organizations go, we don't want that money right now. We want to keep growing the fund, so they ask to roll those grants back into the fund instead of taking them out to use them within their organization. So that the delta is $500,000 is what we've got requested, and we've got just about $200,000. So as you can imagine, you've been there,
and I know,
you know how that is.
It's hard.
We're going to have to cut.
You have to make decisions, and so the grants then you delegate to different individuals on your committee to look through them after you've already gleaned them for having the provided information, the necessary information. You share those with your committee members, then they take a close look at it.
Yes.
And then possibly go and talk to the people of that organization to find out more details that aren't necessarily on the paper, so that they get the whole story, and then they can speak in their behalf when y'all decide who gets what and how it gets. Because even though they may ask, let's say $20,000, they may get $15,000, or any amount, and sometimes it's even more. It all depends on what funds you have and how the committee decides how it's going to roll. Isn't that kind of how it goes?
That's true, and as long as it aligns with the intent of the donor.
Right.
So a couple years ago, we were down to needing to cut about $20,000 off of where,
and it's hard. It's very hard.
So one of my brilliant business volunteers went, okay, we'll just cut everybody by whatever that percentage is. And I went, great idea, except you can't take animal welfare funds and put it toward senior citizens. So we have to be a lot more surgical to make sure that the funds that are given out are according to the wishes
Still
of the
in
person
alignment.
who gave us that money.
Correct.
And then we have donor advisors. We have people that want to give grants out, but they let us do the vetting. They let us make sure that they're legitimate. And then they see those requests and they say, I want my money to go to this group, this group, this group, how much in each group. And as long as they're good organizations, legitimate, they're working fine, those are honored. Those requests are honored. And those are kind of first funding that gets done by the council. I mean, by our distribution committee.
Because it's easier to do that and get that done.
And some people want to have a say.
So how many people are on your committee right now?
We now have 15. When you were on the committee, we had 12.
Probably.
And we were, like I said, we've got 40 grant requests. And for 12 people to do that, that's 3+ grants per person. But with 15, it's 2, with some people doing 3. So, 10 people doing 3 grants request, and each grant request is looked very seriously by our donors. We have our committee members. We have very smart committee members. They're very intuitive. They get a good sense when they go visit whether there's something going on, whether this organization can make this happen or not, because it's something we take into account. We've had some great organizations, and they make a request, but they have none of the other pieces in place. They're asking us to put money in, but they don't know what they're going to do for the rest of the money, or if we don't give them all the money. So those are the least likely for us to fund.
It has to have a strategy with measurable results.
Yes.
And those results are tracked with you. They have to send it in to you. And then those are looked at. Let's say if they want to do it again, you can say, well,
how well did they do?
How did they do with the money we gave them last year? What's going on?
Right.
And it's very important, because this is other people's money. So it has to be solid.
So one of the things, just to tag on to that, is what success looks like. Most people in the best world, it's that the organization has fed lots of people or touched lots of people. But sometimes we have nonprofits that want to try something, and they don't have the money to try it. So we give them the money to try something, such as last year, a grant we gave to Keep Us Fed, Waste Not, Want Not, an organization you're familiar with. They wanted to expand into a new community, and they needed some staff time to spend time working with a faith-based community, setting up their food pantry, helping them get that set up to serve the people within that community. And so success isn't necessarily that they served thousands of people, but that they got it set up and that they learned. They may have made mistakes along the way, but that they learned the right way to do it, and then it became sustainable. They did not need us after they got it set up. I love those kind of pilot projects, because I think it expands capacity and the service delivery opportunities in our community.
makes a difference. Yes, 2015 LMC project.
Yes, I was going to say.
Keep us fed.
Keep us fed. It's still
Yep,
going
and
strong.
it's still sustainable. There you go. So there's a little shout out for LMC.
Was that the
So-
best class ever?
It was the most challenging class, I think they would say, the leadership would say, because then they changed the way that projects are picked after our
Right.
class. But just goes to show you, we figured it out. We didn't have an entry thing where they pick 3. We chose it, and it's still sustainable.
It's still going.
So that's a good thing. That's a little plug for that.
Yep.
So how does somebody get involved? If they want to find out more about how to donate funds or a legacy program or whatever, I mean, there are people that are looking for investments that help the community.
Yep.
What's the best way to do that?
So-
how do they learn more about it?
So the best way is to go to our website. On our website, which is www.mccfoundation.org, there are 3 buttons. One is if you're an advisor and you have a client that's talking about setting up a private foundation or a trust that's going to help, talk to us first, because we at this time do not charge any of our funds for our service fees. The cost for us to
That's
manage
helpful.
the grants.
Very helpful.
Yeah, so that money gets rolled right back in. Most foundations, community foundations, charge 1% to 2% to manage those funds and to handle the scholarships and all of that. We do not. We're a little anonymous across the United States, actually, because of that. If you are a donor, there's a button just for donors, and you can click on that, and it gives you things to look at, things to think about. We have worksheets on there to get you started. And then if you're a nonprofit, nonprofits can set it up themselves. We have 3 nonprofits established funds. One is the Crichton Theater. The board of the Crichton Theater Foundation wanted to make sure that their funds went on forever. And so every year they get some money to be used to rehab, remodel, do work, and it's
Oh, I
out of
didn't know
this
that.
fund. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Another fund that is like that we just got is Willis ISD Education Foundation. And they've been doing great in their fundraising efforts. They've given out lots of money to teachers, to the school district, to students and scholarships. And they said, what happens if 10, 20 years this board isn't the same, and we really want this money to, in perpetuity, benefit the students and the teachers of Willis ISD. So they've got us set, we have a fund for them, and that money goes out to them, or can go out to them. It just got established like a couple months ago. So we're that protector. What happens in the nonprofit world is nonprofit boards say, oh, we'll just set this money up on our balance sheet as an endowment. And then they go, oh, we really want to do this project. Oh, we've got that money sitting over there, and the next thing you know, that money's gone.
It's not there.
And so we kind of protect that money to make sure that money goes forward, and then in perpetuity for the community to be used by that nonprofit. And then the last agency fund is Interfaith of the Woodlands. Reverend Don Gebert set that up to benefit interfaith. So that's another type of fund, but those are done by the
And
agencies.
he also set up the whole organization.
He
didn't
did. It was his idea. He pitched it to George Mitchell back in the early 80s and said, we need a community foundation, and George helped get that funded.
And it has grown in popularity.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
more nonprofits are aware of this.
A little bit
We're
more, yeah.
not aware of this community foundation.
Right.
And there's some phenomenal things that happen. I know when I was part of that committee years ago, we then ended up getting a vehicle for a community assistance center.
Yes.
That they very much needed. And
delivery
other
truck.
people then jumped in, other businesses that wasn't part of that allocation to pay for that. So it's a lot of business-minded people coming together to make a difference for the
Absolutely.
community. So you have an award ceremony coming forward too, don't you?
Yes, so we're doing it a little differently now. COVID changed it. It used to be a big reception, and we had, cheese and crackers and stuff, and we had the donors come and the agencies that were getting their checks, and we give out the checks that night, and we do it in one fell swoop. Well, with COVID, That's a bunch of people. And a lot of the nonprofits would bring 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 people. So what we changed it to a lot of people when you're giving out, 40 some odd grants, right?
Yeah, right. And lengthy.
and very lengthy. We tried to move it fast. Yeah. So what we did with COVID, and our donors said they really like this, is I set aside 2 days out of my schedule, and every 15 minutes we have a new nonprofit come in, and the donor is there. And if there is a donor that's going to come, they get to be the ones that set the time. And I say to the agency, XYZ, like the Buckaloo family.
Oh, so it's really
They
nice.
want to show,
Yeah.
they want to come, and this is the time. And they come, and we get the pictures with them. We get the pictures with the agency and each one. And sometimes we mix it up. So we may have an agency that is getting funded out of 3 or 4 funds. So we get all the donors there together that want to and are available to get a group picture to highlight the agency and their different funds. And then we do it again also for each of the funds and the fund donors. And we've got coffee and cookies and snacks. And once we're done with the photograph session, they can go over and visit. And that's what the donors like, is sitting down and getting to talk to people about what they're doing,
where their
and why
money's
they're
going.
Exactly.
Yeah, and maybe then they have a better relationship going forward.
Yes. So it's all about relationships. Our
Right.
county is all about relationships, and how do we help connect the donor who has asked our organization to be good stewards of the money, to invest the money well and wisely so that more money can go out according to what their particular passion is and need, and then to get to see what that passion is doing, how that money
without
is.
being in a rushed environment with all these other people.
Yes, and crowded.
Yeah,
So
no,
anyway,
for sure.
it's a lot of fun. So we'll
I like
be doing
it.
that November 30th, and I think, and December 1st is what we're going to look at this year.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's so worth it, and it's very rewarding.
And you love what you do.
I do love what I do, and I get to have our distribution committee members come. They get to be there. Board members get to be there. So it's the donors, the agency, the board, the distribution committee members who made those decisions, and that's such a nice synergy. It's a very happy time.
So you're so good at this. When I met you, you were with the Montgomery County United Way and heading that out. And I actually probably met you, I think, when I was with the food bank. It could have been youth services. Who knows?
Yeah.
All those
it
different
was the
things.
food bank. That
It
was
was
the
the
first
food
one.
bank, and connected with a lot of the people that we're still all friends with, including Summer and now I can't even think, Jennifer.
At Community Assistance,
Huffine,
Somerset, Meals on Wheels.
Yes, all of that. And wrote grants.
Yes,
which
you did.
wasn't necessarily my most favorite thing to do, but
Even
got
though
it
you're a
done.
writer.
I was good. I think I was pretty good at it. And so it's kind of interesting then to see the different hats you've played over the times too. But this one seems to really speak to you. Running this organization, the Montgomery County Community Foundation, helping so many others with funds that they really need and corralling it to happen. So I know I appreciate who you are.
Thank you.
As a whole in the community, because you make a huge difference. And weren't you also chair of the Woodlands Chamber before?
I was, but that was back in the 90s.
Well, still, it still
1992.
counts.
I was chair of the Woodlands Chamber, yep.
Yeah.
And have had a number of different volunteer hats in this community. So this is a great place to raise a family, to be a part of. That's my passion. I've been asked, especially after United Way was merged with Houston, I've had the opportunity to go to Louisiana or other places in Texas to run other United Ways or other foundations or other stuff. But I really, am a Montgomery County girl. I've lived here almost 40 years now. And
It's unique.
It's
unique.
It's a great giving community, a loving community. And I really enjoy that. And it's big enough where you can do lots of good, but small enough where you get to know all the people.
All the people,
to help
absolutely.
leverage opportunities.
Yes.
That's what I like about it.
I'm with you on that. I've been here, 40 years in Texas, but Montgomery County 22. But I do think the relationships are what makes it more family connected, more to speak. It's family because it's all this large group. So I'm getting the signal to wrap it up. So they can Google Montgomery County Community Foundation on Facebook. They can do it on
Yes.
Google to find it easier if they don't remember. Get involved. Find out how you can get involved. You also have volunteer opportunities that will come forward in 2023.
Yes.
And I very much appreciate you, Julie. Thank you.
I appreciate you, Margie. Thank you for doing this for the community, to share what this community is all about, and then allowing Montgomery County Community Foundation to be a
Always.
part of it.
Always.
You do great work. Thank you. And Dick, thank you also. You do great work too.
Thank you to our sponsors, Roger Stein Chiropractic and Team Sinisi. We'll check in with you all next week.